Hello and welcome to Raju Notes channel, your pit stop for weekly current affairs updates. The updates tailor-made for students taking all kinds of competitive exams like UPSC, civils, defense and placement interviews. Please subscribe to the channel and stay updated every Sunday. Netherlands has emerged as India's third largest export destination after the United States and UAE in financial year 2023 on account of a surge in shipment of goods like petroleum products, electronic items, chemicals and aluminium goods. India's trade surplus with Netherlands has risen from $8 billion in financial year 22 to $13 billion in financial year 2023. Netherlands has surpassed United Kingdom, Hong Kong, Bangladesh and Germany. Prime Minister Narendra Modi met the Japanese semiconductor firm Renesas Electronics CEO Toshi Shibata to discuss aspects of technology and innovation in the field of semiconductors. Following the meeting, Renesas shared a picture of the two leaders and tweeted, "We are committed to enabling semiconductor ecosystem and digital infrastructure in India." The meeting was productive, Prime Minister said in the tweet. United States Secretary Antony Blinken expressed concerns over reports of China forcefully gathering DNA from Tibetans, a report said. "We are also concerned about the spread of mass DNA collection in Tibet as an additional form of control over the Tibetan population," he said. In response to Blinken's comment, China's foreign ministry spokesperson said, "This means manufacturing sensational news item." The Government of India is set to launch Sanchar Sathi web portal that will allow citizens to block or track their stolen mobile phones across India. The pilot of tracking and blocking system has been running in places like Delhi and Maharashtra. The pan-India launch of the system will take place on the World Telecommunication Day and Information Society Day, that is on May 17th. The National Media Commission has announced a national register for medical practitioners in the country. Doctors will be issued a mandatory unique identification number and the register will have all data pertaining to their degrees, universities, specialties and key other details. The licenses issued under the new rule will be valid for 5 years. United States President Joe Biden said the country will destroy its remaining chemical weapons by September this year. This comes ahead of the International Arms Control Conference in Hague next week. Russia and China, in a joint statement last month, had said the US is the only Chemical Weapon Convention (CWC) member state which has not destroyed its weapon till date. A US-made Patriot air defense system was likely damaged but not destroyed as the result of a Russian airstrikes in Kyiv early on Tuesday this week. United States is assessing to what degree the system was damaged, an official said. Russia's defense ministry said a high-precision strike by the Kinzhal hypersonic missile system in Kyiv hit the US-made Patriot anti-aircraft missile system. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has confirmed that the Quad leaders meeting in Sydney will not go ahead after United States President Joe Biden cancelled his Australia visit. The Quad leaders would instead meet at the G7 in Japan this weekend, he added. A bilateral program in Sydney with Prime Minister Narendra Modi could still go ahead next week, Albanese further said. Information Technology Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw has launched Sanchar Sathi portal, which helps people to track, trace and block the phone using Central Equipment Identity Register. The portal features telecom analytics for fraud management and consumer protection (TAFCOP), which helps people identify mobile connections issued in their name. People can also use Know Your Mobile (KYM) to check their device validity. Billionaire Elon Musk-led electric car maker Tesla has proposed setting up a factory in India to build electric cars for domestic sales and exports, Reuters reported on Wednesday. The company, however, did not discuss lowering the import tax on the electronic cars. Senior Tesla executives are in India this week to meet government officials on Tesla India entry, as per Reuters report. All payments to foreign vendors or payments in foreign exchange through the international credit card will attract a higher tax collected at the source at 20% from July 1, 2023. The center has bought transactions through the credit card outside India under the ambit of liberalized remittance scheme. The TCS on such transaction has been taxed at 5% till now. This saw a major opposition from all quarters of the state. Thereby, government now capping the same at rupees 7 lakhs. Researchers from China and Australia have discovered a potential antidote for the world's deadliest mushroom, the death cap, that is alpha amanitin. The principal toxin in the death cap mushroom is responsible for 90% of mushroom related deaths worldwide. Researchers have found that indocyanine green, a dye commonly used in medicinal imaging, has the potential to counteract the toxic effects of alpha amanitin. At least 40 countries have signed the Register of Damage, an instrument approved by 46-member Council of Europe to document the damage in Ukraine so that Russia can be held liable for compensation. The document is a necessary step ensuring justice that is centered on the victims of the war, the Council's head, Marija Pechinova-Burik, said. Russian President Vladimir Putin and his Ukrainian counterpart Volodymyr Zelensky will separately host an African peace mission at Moscow and Kyiv aimed at ending the war. Leaders of Zambia, Senegal, Republic of Congo, Uganda, Egypt, South Africa will make up the delegation. Notably, South Africa was recently accused by United States of arming Russia amidst the war. China has thanked India after the Indian Navy deployed its Air MR asset in southern Indian Ocean region in response to sinking of a Chinese fishing vessel, Lu Fengyun Yu 028, with 39 crew members on board. Truly appreciate the timely help, the Chinese embassy tweeted. The Indian Navy aided in search and rescue of the crew members. British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak and his wife visited Japan for the G7 summit, where Sunak secured a new Hiroshima Accord aimed at enhancing UK-Japan collaboration in economics, security, and technology. This partnership serves as a counterbalance to Chinese influence in the region and includes a focus on semiconductor cooperation to strengthen supply chain resilience. The Reserve Bank of India, citing its clean note policy, the central bank on Friday announced its decision to withdraw 2000 rupee note from circulation. The bank notes in 2000 denomination will continue to be legal tender, it added. All banks shall provide deposit or exchange the facility for 2000 rupee banknotes until September 30, 2023, the RBI stated. The 2000 rupee denomination banknote was introduced in November 2016, where the demonetization of 500 and 1000 rupees note was done. This apparently broke the fake banknote printing in Pakistan. The Indian Navy's MH-60R helicopter this week carried out its maiden landing and takeoff from the home-built destroyer INS Kolkata in Arabian Sea. This accomplishment reportedly improves the Navy's anti-submarine warfare, that is ASW capabilities. According to the Navy, the MH-60R is a versatile platform known for its exceptional ASW surveillance, anti-shipping, and search and rescue capabilities. Union Minister Hardeep Singh Puri on Friday announced the successful operation of the first domestic flight by AIX Connect using India-produced sustainable aviation fuel called as SAF. who retweeted, "Historic step making aviation fuel from ethanol, taking hashtag farm to flight. India takes a positive step towards a green and more sustainable future. The plane blended with fuel with 1% SAF to reduce emission it produces." An ordinance has been passed by the Centre to constitute National Capital Civil Services Authority in Delhi. This comprises of Delhi Chief Minister, Chief Secretary and Home Secretary of Delhi government. They will now decide on the transfer and postings of Group A officers and the DANICS officers serving in Delhi government. The order reads, provided also that in case of differences of opinion, the decision of Lieutenant Governor shall be final. The value of defense production in financial year 2023 has crossed 1 lakh crores for the first time ever, the Defense Ministry said on Friday. The value currently stands at 1,06,800 crores and it will further go up once the data is received from the remaining private defense industries, it stated. The current value mark is over 12% rise from 95,000 crores in financial year 2022. Scientists at United States Stanford University said they have invented a prototype of electronic skin called as monolithic e-skin that can talk directly to the brain, allowing amputees to feel a human-like sense of touch. The e-skin has sensor for temperature, pressure and strain, which are converted into electrical signals. Challenge was to develop e-skin using only skin-like materials, scientists said. China has firmly opposed holding any form of G20 meetings in J&K, terming it as a disputed territory. "We will not attend such meetings," Foreign Ministry spokesperson Wang Wenbin on reports that China will boycott meeting and events for the G20 plan to be held in Indian administrative Kashmir. China is rattled as the G20 will confirm J&K to be an integral part of India and the Chinese CPEC, which passes through POK, is illegal. The 25-ton light tank Zorawar, being jointly developed by DRDO and private sector firm L&T, is expected to be ready for trials in high-altitude mountainous border with China by end of this year. The tank is expected to be ready for trials by end of this year and would be immediately sent to Ladakh sector for our own trials. "Once we are ready, we will hand it over to the army for the user trial," senior DRDO official told the media. A total of about 350 tanks are to be handed over to the army in near future. And now for the segment where we see the events that unfolded this week back in history. 14th May 1948, Declaration of Israeli Statehood. On this day in 1948, just before the expiry of British mandate in Palestine, David Ben-Gurion and the Jewish People's Council proclaimed the establishment of the State of Israel, precipitating the First Arab-Israel War. 15th May 1991, Edith Cresson appointed French Premier. On this day in 1991, Edith Cresson of the Socialist Party became the first female Premier of France, but she lost the office less than a year later because of the rising unemployment and declining support from within her party. 16 May 1943, Warsaw Ghetto Uprising suppressed. On this day in 1943, Nazi troops quelled the month-long Warsaw Ghetto Uprising, in which Polish Jews, led by Mordecai Enielewicz and the Jewish Fighting Organization, resisted deportation to the Treblinka extermination camp. "17th May 1954, School segregation outlawed by US Supreme Court. On this day in 1954, lawyer Thurgood Marshall scored a landmark victory as the US Supreme Court unanimously ruled in Brown v. Board of Education of Topeka that racial segregation in public school was unconstitutional. 18th May 1980, eruption of Mount St. Helens. On this day in 1980, following an earthquake with a magnitude of 5.1 on the Richter scale, Mount St. Helens in Washington state erupted in one of the greatest volcanic explosions ever recorded in North America. 19th May 1884, Ringling Bros Circus formed. The Ringling Brothers opened a small circus in Baraboo, Wisconsin on this day in 1884, and by the end of 20th century had transformed it into the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus, leading American circuses. 20 May 1862, US Homestead Act signed. On this day in 1862, United States President Abraham Lincoln signed the Homestead Act, which provided 160 acres of public land virtually free of charge to those who lived and cultivated the land for at least 5 years. Well, that's all, friends, for this week's updates. See you soon next Sunday on the same channel. Till then, take care. Bye bye.